Hey guys, Kenny here. I'm here to review the 2010 action movie From Paris with Love. Oh man, this stars John Travolta, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers, and James Domine. And now the basic plot about this is James Reese. He played by Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. He has to escort Charlie Wax, played by John Travolta, and they have to stop this terrorist ring that James's fiancée Caroline is a part of, from killing the U.S. Secretary of State before they arrive at an African Peace Summit. That's basically the plot. But along the way, James and Charlie, they end up they attack a Chinese restaurant as a front, and only to find out that there's a cocaine distribution business going on there. So Charlie tells James to put some of the cocaine in a vase. So James is riding around with Charlie with a coke in that vase through most of the movie. So I think they end up running into this Pakistani drug mule, and it's kind of clever that James's girlfriend Caroline gave James her father's ring, and that ends up being a very important part of the story later on. But Charlie and James kind of frame this Pakistani drug mule by where I think James drops that vase full of the cocaine onto the floor, so that James and Charlie have to kill those Pakistani people. And it's a long gunfight. Very long and very brutal. I love the restaurant shootout as well. That's another fantastic one. And James's girlfriend ends up it turns out that she was also helping out in this terrorist ring that is out to kill the U.S. Secretary of State before they get to an African Peace Summit. Before she gets to an African Peace Summit, the U.S. Secretary of State, but so the ring that Caroline gave James was the tracking device, and then the apartment that they're living in was also wired and bugged. So that's how she's been helping that terrorist ring. And Charlie and James have also been out to try and stop these Pakistanis who also are using these suicide vests. And Caroline wears one of these at the African Peace Summit, and James ends up meeting up with her with a gun pointing right at her. So he tries to talk her down, saying how much he loves her, but he ends up having to shoot her in the head, and Charlie runs up behind and grabs a hold of her and lowers her down. And there's this And also, I think there was a moment while the U.S. Secretary of State was in, while the escort was still on the road. They were driving one way, and then there was this terrorist bomber driving right in their direction. Charlie and this other driver, not James, were trying to chase after that terrorist, and Charlie has this bazooka. He can't get lock, so they drive up onto this bridge, and Charlie points his bazooka at that van, and then Charlie shoots the torpedo at the rocket at that van, and then boom, they're safe. So the Secretary of State can get to the peace summit, and then and James has a hard time trying to get in to the peace summit because he's like this assistant to Ambassador Bennington, and he was like, James keeps being questioned, and then he is almost arrested because he's carrying a gun, but James tells Ambassador Bennington that there's a possible terrorist threat, and it's Caroline, and he knows who it is. So that's when James meets up with her, and he shoots her in the head after he wasn't able to talk her down. And after that, that's Reese and Charlie and James walk out side by with each other, walking together. They have a good banter between each other when they do that, and Charlie gives James a thing of pictures that James and Caroline took at a fair, because I think his apartment was already taken apart by some CIA people, or no, FBI people, I think it was. And James is quite a good chess player, and at the end he has this mini chess set, and he challenges Charlie to a chess match, and Charlie pulls out a gun of his own, and James pulls out an even bigger gun. So they commence that chess playing game. So they end up doing well at the end of the movie. Now the action in this was really good. I can't even the music, the score was also great in this. The cinematography was good, the performances were very good, the writing was also good. And after Charlie hears this little code word that a friend of Caroline's says, Charlie shoots her in the head. Then that's when Charlie starts finding out that James and Caroline's apartment is bugged, and including the ring that James is wearing, it's also a tracker. That's a very good scene to me. So if you haven't already, I would highly appreciate it if you would subscribe over here if you're watching the video by itself, or subscribe down here if you're watching the video on my channel. Jonathan Rhys Meyers was very good in this, and John Travolta was also good as kind of a psycho CIA operative, but he was very good at action. So I stay cool and roll out to the movies. Bye.